Hey folks, so I'm getting ready for my first day of chemistry class with these kids. I always start my chemistry class with the same reaction. It's the iron sulfide reaction, and it's a great way to introduce kids to a couple of different terms. Physical properties, chemical properties, mixtures, compounds. Basically what you do is you take sulfur and you take iron and you mix them, right? Now, sulfur and iron have different physical properties. The main property that's really easy to show students is that if you take a magnet and hold it up to the iron, you'll see that the iron is actually magnetic, right? And you can see it collect around the magnet. And it looks kind of cool when it does so, okay? Now, if you pass the magnet over the sulfur, you'll see that the sulfur isn't magnetic. So those are different physical properties. And you create a homogeneous mixture of the iron powder and the sulfur powder. And then what you can do to show the students that it's a mixture, it's two or more substances that can be separated by physical means, right? So use that magnet to actually show that you can actually separate out the iron particles from the sulfur just by holding the magnet up. The iron particles are going to stick to the magnet, while the sulfur particles will actually not stick, and you can separate them out that way. Then we do the reaction, okay? The reaction for me, I feel like this reaction never works the way it's supposed to. If you go on YouTube, you can see, and I'll put some links in the comments, you can see some pretty spectacular examples of this reaction. I'm not sure how they get those because I always try to do it and it doesn't seem so spectacular. But you mix them up, take a stir rod, and then you're going to heat that stir rod up with as hot as it's going to get with a Bunsen burner until it starts to melt. And then you're going to touch the mixture that you have with the iron and the sulfur. And that should be enough activation energy to get that reaction started. Okay, takes a little while. I kind of have to like mix it around a little bit, but you can see you should be able to see a kind of a faint blue flame as the reaction occurs. So the new substance has both iron and sulfur in it, but you can't separate out the iron and the sulfur via physical means, right? So there's a new word we use for this combination of the two substances, and that is a compound, right? So a compound cannot be separated using physical means. There's something that happened to those iron and sulfur particles where they cannot be separated. I've read sources where iron sulfide is non-magnetic. I've seen sources where let's say that the iron sulfide is magnetic. What I see is when I touch a magnet to it, the end product, iron sulfide, is still magnetic, okay? But you don't see any more of the sulfur, the yellow sulfur. If you like this video, like our Facebook page. If you're seeing it on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. That way you'll be up to date on all the updates as we go. I try to release videos at least a couple times a week while we're in the school year, so kind of take you through the process.